Welcome everybody to today's lunchtime webinar. Today's topic is on the positive impact of micromobility on transport in Dublin City. Our speaker today is Jennifer McGrath from Dublin City Council. She's the head of road safety and micromobility and is a senior executive engineer. At the end of the presentation, there'll be a short Q&A session. So if you do have any questions, you can pop them into the Q&A chat at the bottom of the screen. Without further ado, I'll hand you over to Jennifer to start the presentation.
Thanks very much, Alan. I'll just share my screen. So you can all see this, can you? Yeah. So hi everyone, I'm delighted to be presenting my work to you today. So as Alan said, I am head of road safety and micromobility working in the Transport and Public Realm Department in Dublin City Council, where I lead the delivery of the Dublin City Road Safety Strategy and the implementation of the action plan, including urban speed management and the school warden service. I'm responsible for the development and implementation of shared and sustainable mobility solutions, including projects that expand travel choices and improve the quality of life for residents and visitors in Dublin. This includes leading data-driven initiatives to support the integration, regulation and expansion of car, bicycle and cargo bike sharing services across the city. Prior to my life in Dublin City, I worked in South Dublin County Council for many years, where I gained experience across the fields of environment and transportation. My roles were in the areas of roads and traffic management, waste management, water network management, climate action, and active travel. This broad expertise underpins my strategic approach to sustainability, urban innovation, and mobility systems integration. I'm passionate about climate action and sustainable development. I'm committed to advancing safe, inclusive, and low carbon mobility solutions. I'm a daily cyclist, bringing both professional expertise and personal perspective to efforts that improve walking, cycling, car sharing, and other shared mobility options. Through my work, I contribute to Dublin's leadership in urban sustainability and to the wider European agenda for climate neutral, people-centred cities. This is an overview of my presentation, and these are some of our current projects that we are working on and which I'll be discussing, and then I have some insights into some of our new projects for 2026. So first of all, I'm going to talk about our bike bunker project. In 2025, following a pilot project, we set about procuring for an operator for the bike bunker service. This was challenging as the contract required an important element, which is customer service, as well as the supply, installation and maintenance of the bike bunkers. The procurement contract was won by Bleeper, and the framework, which is accessible to all of the Dublin local authorities, will deliver over 300 bike bunkers in Dublin City over its 10-year framework. The photo here shows my team and both the Feetshanger team who supply the bike bunkers and our mobility partners, Bleeper. On the side of the bunker, you can see the shape of a bike. This was introduced as I wasn't happy with the proposed plain sides offered on the bunkers. In my opinion, and as you can imagine, plain sides might invite trouble, such as graffiti or maybe just curiosity as to what might be inside. So Feetshanger created a prototype at my proposal, and this is now part of their commercial offering, which was the first to showcase. Dublin was the first to showcase this bunker, and I think that it looks great. So the program for bike bunkers operates a demand-led basis, with installations being the response of a cluster of expressions of interest submitted by residents through the bike bunker website, bikebunkers.ie. Installations continue on an alternating north-side, south-side basis, subject to the demand and site suitability. As of the 24th of February, which is only 2 days ago, we had a total of 1,463 residents to have registered their interests and applied for a total of 2,633 spaces. So we have a lot of bunkers to install and we have a lot of curbside to find. That amounts to about 440 bunkers, which is way exceeds our expectations. Bike bunkers are being installed in neighbourhoods on a weekly basis and are almost immediately filled by local residents. Installations within the canals are ongoing. Following the initial provision of 2 to 4 bike bunkers per neighbourhood, these areas will be revisited to install additional units where demand is high before we go to other suburbs outside of the canals. So a step-by-step example of the workflow generated from the online registration of new users is shown here. All expressions of interests are geographically mapped and used to inform delivery planning. Prioritization of locations is based on the number and concentration of expressions of interest, received alongside assessment of available curbside space, local constraints and suitability for installation. Bike bunkers are only installed where expressions of interest have been received from residents. The map here shows, I know it's difficult to make out, but I'll try and explain it a little bit. The houses represent expressions of interest, and in the application, when you hover over the house, it will indicate how many bike parking spaces were requested. The dots represent the installed bike bunkers, and hovering over the dots indicates how many spaces are available or on offer in each of those bike bunkers at any one time. Also, what is indicated is whether or not a proposed location has been approved or denied. And as you can imagine, there are many good reasons to deny a space for a bunker. Accessibility for emergency vehicles being one on our narrow streets, and another example being an oversubscription of parking permits on a particular street. I should also mention as well that there's a charge of €100 for a bike parking permit or a space within a bike bunker. This cost does not reflect the true cost of that space provided to each user. Considering the cost of the bunker itself and the cost of running the service, it is extremely good value to the user. So the next project I'd like to talk about is our cargo bike project. So I have a video here that explains it perfectly well. It'll give me a break from talking, but you're still going to hear my voice on this one. Just to introduce this project, it's a fantastic little project. It's low cost, but really high on impact. It's helped lots of different businesses and non-profits to trial a cargo bike. The cost is €100 to a business or free to non-profits. And we recently carried out a prior information notice on this project, and we plan to go to tender in a couple of months. So I'll just play the video for you now. My name is Jennifer McGrath and I am Head of Road Safety and Micromobility. Together with my team, I manage the cargo bike project in Dublin City Council. The concept for this sustainable delivery project came during the pandemic when cycle tracks were increasing in number, cycling became a renewed hobby for people, and our home deliveries increased exponentially. We started with an opportunity for 10 businesses for 6 months. This quickly grew to 20 businesses for 12 months, allowing the businesses to experience all seasons.
Since getting the cargo bike, I've recommended it to loads of people. I just think it's a fantastic scheme. It's really helped us. It saved us money, it saved us time. It's actually a fun thing to do because you get a bit of fresh air. So it's been brilliant. Because driving in the city is absolute madness. It takes maybe 15 minutes to cycle across town, and we're using the cycle lanes the whole way. That's absolutely fantastic.
Over 4,000 kilograms of CO2 was avoided in emissions when compared to using a commercial van. Over 34,000 kilometres was cycled in the first year by all participants. That's equivalent to a trip from Dublin to Sydney and back again. The project expanded further to include non-profit organisations.
We have members on both sides of the Liffey, and so being on a cargo bike is a more efficient and fun way to get around the city. We were driving around in the family diesel car with the boot open, with raised beds and whatnot in it. The cargo bike has been obviously more nimble, and we can move around a lot more easily. Someone asked me a while ago, what is your flow state? It's when I'm on a bicycle, because I do cycle everywhere. I have this naive expectation when I cycle down, say, the North Circular Road, and it's a long road, and the whole way down it's bumper to bumper traffic, and I think that I'm like bombing down, that this traffic won't be here the next day, because they're going to see that and they'll be thinking, oh, why am I in this car? Look at him flying down, it looks so easy.
Together with my team, I look forward to expanding this project, collaborating with other external stakeholders and local authorities in providing more opportunities to businesses and non-profit organisations in their offering of greener, more sustainable deliveries. So there we go. Any questions on that? It's all provided in the video. Okay, so the next slide is also a link. That was a just in case that first slide didn't work. So here we go. Yeah, I just wanted to share with you a few photos of the participants of the Cargo Bike project. We have DCU Student Life. Hello Charlie is a cafe and bakery, Meals and Wheels, and Connecting Cabra. So they are happy little bunnies with their cargo bikes. And as you can see, that all the cargo bikes are slightly different. And that's what we do. We cater to the business or the non-profit as to which type of bike most suited. So I've included the total kilometres travelled, CO2 and NOx avoided in the table. And I will highlight some of our winners. We have small changes, had a total of over 7,000 kilometres, which is absolutely fantastic. And Life Pharmacy in Donnybrook had over 4,000 kilometres also, which is great. Just to note that on this table, not all the participants start on the same day, and therefore the table is not a reflection of it is a reflection of one day in time and not the final totals at the end of each participant's trial period. And you can see my colleague Suyeisha, she's in lots of these photos, and she was the chosen supermodel to showcase this project. So thank you to Suyeisha for that. Bike Share then is another project of ours here. We have Bleeper and Moby, and there are stationless bike schemes. Bleeper began operating in June 2018, becoming Ireland's first stationless bike sharing scheme. Moby launched in 2020, and both offer regular bikes and electric bikes as part of their fleets. I should just mention that they're known as stationless bike schemes due to the fact that they do not operate from a station like Dublin bikes do, and the term stationless bikes was coined just to differentiate between the two. So at the moment, Bleeper have over 600 bikes on our streets, and Moby have over 800 bikes, which is a super number of bikes to have out there. And if any of you would like to check how many kilometres are travelled by these bikes, or where these bikes are, or have an interest in the general data of the operators, you can find it on dublinked.ie. So RedClick Dublin Bikes is a Dublin City Council bike share, and since November 2024, the sponsor for Dublin Bikes has been RedClick. And they have supported the operator JC2Co in participating in various events that are run by us. For example, Bike Week, and in particular Pedal Power Festival. Again, this year it'll be held in Eamon Cant Park in Crumlin. It's a fantastic venue for this festival. RedClick Dublin Bike host a virtual race at the festival, which is great fun, and they have a prize then for the fastest cyclist. So it's really a bit of crack. In 2025, we celebrated the 40th millionth journey. And when we compare that to car trips, it equates to 1,117,333,333 kilometres travelled by the users of Dublin Bikes since the inaugural journey taken in September 2009, with an estimated 2,933 tonnes of CO2 avoided, which is such a great achievement. Dublin Bikes offer an annual subscription of €35 per year. Yes, you heard me right. Extremely good value to the user. Everyone should have a subscription. We also offer 1 day, 3 day, and 5 day tickets, and we have a reduced student annual subscription offer as well. The first 30 minutes of each journey is free, and 97% of all journeys are free as they take 30 minutes or less. So here's another one of our projects. We have car share and a data pilot project. In Dublin City, we have 4 car share operators: GoCar, UCO, Enterprise and Hertz. Recently, we signed a memorandum of understanding with our car share operators to strengthen our collaboration and build a data sharing platform. We know that about 1/3 of our electoral areas have car share vehicles, and we want to build a model to predict the appetite for car share based on known and existing characteristics, and to use the platform to perform extrapolations of the expected number of trips per space added and other benefits. The map shows Dublin electoral area divisions and their car share potential. We're currently undertaking this data sharing pilot project with our operators GoCar, UCO, Enterprise and Hertz, and we're collaborating with Fingal County Council on this, and we're working with Vianova on this pilot. So, as you can see, we are very cheeky here in Dublin City Council, and we created a car share day to celebrate car share. It's officially on the 24th of July every year, and I would invite you and every other local authority to join us in our celebrations on the 24th of July, and to hold events and share them on social media, and just to create some awareness about car share. Our mobility school, this is a lovely, interesting project. It didn't cost the earth, and again, it's extremely impactful. We worked with so many internal stakeholders and externals on this project. The internal stakeholders includes our Parks and Sports Department, Active Cities, Active Travel, the local area office. There was so many collaborators. It truly was a joint effort. And if any one of the sections had have pulled out, it would never have happened. Besides its main objective, which is to create a real-life learning experience for children and adults, our sports section now run a how to create and run a bike bus to school for parents and guardians, teaching parents how to cycle while marshalling children cycling to school. I just think that's ingenious. So well done them. Now, so I just want to recap on the different items that we've discussed. I've talked about Dublin Bikes, Bleeper and Moby, car share, last mile delivery, need cargo bikes, and accessible cycling. So we have an offer of accessible cycling. It's in Eamon Cant Park, and it's run by our mobility partners, the Bike Hub. What we have out there are trishaws, wheelchair bikes, tandems, other accessible bikes. And the Bike Hub also offer programs on bike maintenance, upcycling. They also host get back to cycling groups for the elderly, and also teach adults how to cycle. And they use the mobility school, which is really handy for them. Bike parking, we've discussed bike bunker schemes, staff initiatives. Throughout the year, we run different staff initiatives. We offer regular bikes and e-bikes to our staff for a few months to help them to change their mode of transport to work and trial the bikes for their commute. Looking then towards our projects for this year, we would like to expand our cargo bike project, which is something we're doing at the moment. We have a prior information notice out, and we'll be running a procurement on that very soon. Mobility hubs, we plan to pilot mobility hubs this year. We want to generate learnings and expand the service. Bike libraries, we have completed our procurement documents, and they'll be going out very soon in the next week or so. We also want to maintain our car share data project and our collaboration with Fingal County Council. And we are also preparing our procurement documents for our Dublin bike scheme, as it is due for change in September 2027. So that's it from me, folks. Thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
These are relatively kind of small scale and simple schemes that are taking traffic off the roads, and obviously reducing CO2, which is essentially what we need to to remove cars and encourage people to use alternative modes of transport. And I think obviously there's a lot more projects that you have planned for 2026. Hopefully that will help to further decrease that. So again, I'd just like to thank you for a very interesting presentation. Thanks very much, Jennifer, and I hope everyone enjoys the lunch, and we'll see you next time.